Wells Fargo under fire again. One of the nation's largest banks accused of harming its own customers.
Wells Fargo was closing accounts that should not have been closed.
Today, Thursday, March 1st, 2018.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb.
We're back 7:40. If you bank with Wells Fargo, you're going to want to hear this.
It is being accused of harming some of its own customers. NBC's business correspondent Jolene Kent has all the details here. Hey, Joe, good morning.
Hey, guys, good morning. Wells Fargo is under fire once again, facing a new lawsuit for questionable activity affecting customers' bank accounts. A former employee now speaking out to us this morning, alleging bad behavior when it came to investigating possible fraudulent activity.
I'm saying that Wells Fargo was closing accounts that should not have been closed.
This morning, Wells Fargo facing new fraud allegations of abusing customers. A former employee accusing the bank of mishandling thousands of consumer account investigations. Matthew Valles was a fraud investigator at Wells Fargo in Portland, Oregon for 7 years. He says instead of looking into counterfeit checks, unauthorized withdrawals, and other suspicious activities, the bank had a much simpler solution. Valles alleges they simply froze or closed the account and dropped the customer. According to a report by the New York Times, a federal regulator is currently investigating the bank's handling of fraud investigations based on Valles' claims and complaints from dozens of customers.
It could have been ATM, debit card fraud, check fraud, online fraud, any type of fraud. They would brush through their cases and make certain decisions that didn't justify closure.
Valles filed suit for wrongful termination, saying the bank fired him when he tried to blow the whistle. NBC News reached out to Wells Fargo, which disclosed 6 months ago regulators were investigating whether customers had been harmed by the practice. A spokesperson says they take the concern seriously and will investigate thoroughly, adding, "Our goal is to protect our customers and the bank from fraud, and we want to do so in ways that minimize the risk and impact on our customers." These new revelations come as Wells Fargo is currently under fire and facing regulatory backlash. Just last month, the Federal Reserve blasted the bank for what it called widespread consumer abuses, forbidding Wells Fargo from growing any larger until they drastically improve business practices under strict guidelines. Back in 2016, the banking giant was fined $185 million after it was exposed for secretly opening millions of phony accounts without its customers' knowledge or consent. Those illegal practices going as far back as 2011. The scandal costing the bank's longtime CEO, John Stumpf, his job. He was forced to resign last year, the bank clawing back $28 million of his bonus money.
It's on Wells Fargo and their management. They're the ones making the calls, and they're the ones putting people in certain positions that have them in leadership, and they're the ones that need to be held responsible for it.
If Wells Fargo is found guilty of these latest allegations of customer abuse, this could push the bank's total penalty and refund amounts even higher. And credit experts are warning that closing and opening bank accounts could negatively impact your credit score, too. Guys?
All right, Joe. Joe, thank you so much.